Welcome to the Leadership Sparq Podcast, where we equip you to be the great leader your people deserve. It's Hampton and Corey here. And as a leader, there are two outcomes that you will always get, and we're going to talk about them today.
So the two outcomes you always get are what you create and what you allow. And what I've learned as a leader, and I hope if you're listening to this, I know Hampton, I know you get it. If you're listening to this, that you understand that in leadership, there is no finger pointing. At the end of the day, there's a mirror. And you see it a lot where decisions are made or there are implications of decisions made as a leader, and people will start to point fingers. It's someone else's fault. But when I think about leadership, it's really from an extreme ownership perspective. But it's, look, as a leader, you always get what you create and you always get what you allow. And I think back to the last 20 years of leading organizations, the times that I regret the most as a leader are the times where I allowed things to go on longer than they should have gone on. And that's my fault. I am accountable for that as a leader. Maybe I allowed underperformance to go on longer than it should have, or maybe I allowed this decision not to be made whenever it should have been made, or maybe I allowed this process or this thing we were experimenting with to go on longer than it should. But I think back to those times and it's like, you know what? Those are the things that I regret, but I allowed it. It was my fault as a leader. Accountability goes back to me. And so if I want a different outcome, then I need to do what? Create a different outcome, right? Yeah. And so as a leader, I always get what I allow. And so if you're out there and you're frustrated, you're out there and things aren't going the way that you want them to go, maybe there's performance issues on your team, or your team isn't performing at the level that you want, or maybe there's this obstacle in the way or this challenge, take a step back and ask yourself, what am I allowing? And am I okay with that? Am I okay with allowing this to continue to go on? Will I be proud of this in 6 months? Or do I need to make a decision today to create something new? And I'm also accountable for the creation, right? So if it goes great, if it doesn't go great, I am the person that is responsible for it. And so you can take it to the bank in the fact that you will, as a leader, you will always get what you allow and you will always get what you create. And so the challenge is this, and this is your go and do ultimately. And then Hampton, I just want to get your thoughts on it. Like, what do you think about this idea? But at the end of the day, if you don't like what's going on, just create a new normal, but you always get what you allow and what you create. And so the go and do is look in the mirror and start to think about, what are you allowing and what are you creating? And are you okay with that? And is it getting the result that you want? If not, change it. So what do you think, Hampton? What do you think about this idea of, as a leader, I've been doing this, I guess, a lot longer than you. I have more gray than you, I think. But
yes.
What do you think? Like, you always get what you create and what you allow, and this is inside work, outside of work, and this is also, you may not be responsible for anything in your organization, but you still are responsible for these two outcomes.
Yeah, when I look back on my life and some of the mistakes that I've made in leadership, I've made the mistake of believing the lie that the problem would go away. And I haven't taken enough ownership to say I created that and I allowed that for a long time. I don't look in the mirror and I don't point the finger at myself and I don't look at the brutal facts and I just wish that some of these problems will go away, and problems don't fix themselves. And so the best thing that I've learned to do is try to correct things early and often, because then you're not running into as many problems. But the longer you wait, the harder it's going to get to correct some of these things. So for you as a leader, there may be something popping in your head right now. I think we all know it's not going to solve itself. So I would challenge you to go and solve that problem right now, and then moving forward, be aware of what you're creating and what you're allowing, and cut it off before things grow too much.